Welcome to another meeting of the Lorain County Commissioners, broadcast exclusively on your Lorain County Community College education station. The Lorain County Commissioners cordially invite you to see the meetings live and in person every Thursday morning. The meetings are located in the Lorain County Administration Building, located at 226 Middle Avenue in downtown Elyria. The meetings start at 9:30 a.m. on most weeks. Now, enjoy the meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I will so move, noting that I will not be present on Thursday, June 13th.
Second. Further discussion?
You made a motion to not be here?
Yeah, right.
Any second? No, I just saw you made a motion I could be here and she had to second it.
No, that wasn't a part of the motion. I'm excluding that from my second.
Oh, okay. I was a little confused, I'm sorry.
I just want you to know that I'm not making this motion and setting this hearing and then not being here intentionally.
Oh.
I've already scheduled that
Okay, no
for a
problem.
family vacation.
That's fine.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Mr. Mohr?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, for a moment. Commissioners, I need to be excused for a moment. I'm waiting on the bond closing, and I need to go finish that up. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I understand our rates are in, all our information, and Mr. Oakesy was waving in the back
Is
of
it
the room.
similar to this release? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I'll be able to tell you what our rate is and what our final
Okay.
financing is when they come back.
Bring lunch, too.
Hot off the press.
I have a couple M&Ms.
Something more than that.
Okay.
Here, have a mint. Approve and enter into a lease agreement between the Board of Commissioners and the Workforce Institute of Lorain County for office space located at 42495 North Ridge Road, Elyria. Agreement is for a period of 12 months, commencing retroactive to July 1st, 2001, expiring June 30th, 2002, and the total rental amount of $55,000 annually for approximately 8,545 square feet, including furniture, equipment, and computers, which is $4,583.33 monthly. This lease does contain a 30-day written cancellation clause.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy? Aye. Mr. Mohr?
Aye.
Schedule a public hearing to be held on Thursday, May 30th, 2002 at 10:30 a.m. to approve ditch assessments for the Delfield Ditch, Elyria Township, and consider placing on permanent county maintenance. Delfield Ditch was recently constructed using county ditch funds. Part of the agreement was to place the ditch under county maintenance after construction. The total cost of construction was $12,522. 12 property owners will be affected. The assessments would be approximately $30 each per year, and the notice to the property owners will be sent by certified mail on May 15, 2002, and the notice will be published in the Chronicle Telegram on May 18th.
And this is what Trustee Holtzman outlined for us earlier. This is the Delfield ditch that he talked about.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Vacy? Aye. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Mohr?
Aye.
Approve and enter in contract between the Department of Job and Family Services and Kids Center Incorporated, Vermillion, Ohio for daycare services. This contract is effective retroactive to April 1st, 2002 through July 31st, 2002, and authorize President to execute on behalf of the Board.
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Ms. Vacy? Aye. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Mohr?
Aye.
Authorize Lorain County Sheriff's Department to file grant application to U.S. Department of Justice for 2002 Cops in Schools federal grant. The grant is a 3-year period. During this time, the federal money received will be $125,000. Local match will be approximately $43,480. This grant will be for the hiring of an additional deputy to be assigned to work at the Lorain County Joint Vocational School, for which the school has agreed to pay the local match. Grant application must be postmarked no later than May 17, 2002. Authorize the President to execute on behalf of the Board.
And continue reading.
I'm sorry, there is no guarantee of funding at the end of the grant period.
Teresa also moved.
I'll second.
Discussion.
Yes. Like to speak on it, or Captain? Or?
Captain Jim Drudowski from the Sheriff's Office. We've been talking with JVS on this. We've got somewhat of a program like this going right now, and we have nothing but accolades between the students, the teachers, the parents, and the school. And when this grant proposal came up, we wanted to take the opportunity to get this federal grant money. It's going to be a lot less money overall for JVS, and we're looking at now into the 4th year, working out an agreement with JVS that if the officer stays there, they will pick up the cost of every day the officer is at the school. And then the balance in the summer, when school's not in session, what we do, instead of putting that officer back on the road, we have him work with our DARE officer for the safety town programs, the community policing, things like that, where he stays in contact with students all year round. So the county is only going to pick up whatever time he's not in school when the school's not in session.
Okay. And I see you have an assistant with you today.
Yes, I have my daughter with me today, Alyssa. She's part of this Take Daughter to Work. She thought my job's exciting. She's here. So I said she has to stay through it. She wanted to stay in the detective bureau, but I wouldn't let her.
Okay, well, welcome. Is that A-L-L-I-S-S-A? Okay, well, that's my daughter's name. It's just, I can never find a little license plate with that spelling, so well, thank you.
So now, is the school going to pick up the expense, just for the record, because after the 3rd year, I need to know if we're hiring a new person.
Yeah, what'll happen is after the 3rd year, if we keep that SRO officer, which everything indicates that we're going to, because this is the trend that's going, we've had agreement that throughout the school year, whatever it's 180 days or whatever the school year is, that the JVS will pick up his salary. And then when school's not in session in the summer months, then we pay his salary.
But I heard you say something, you have something like this going now. So do we have a person there now?
Right now we have a person in the school that was pulled from the road, and it kind of created a problem for us, but we felt the school resource officer was more important at the time. So we've kind of got that agreement worked out right now, and that would continue after it. But this would give us the opportunity to give us somebody back in the position that we lost off the road.
So we actually will be hiring a new person.
Right.
And then on the 4th year, the school is going to pick up the expense?
For when the time, during the school's time where the school's in session, and then in the summer months, we'd pick up the cost. But we'd utilize that officer, like I said, into the safety town programs, community policing. Plus, what we're also looking at 4 years down the road, if there's retirements and stuff, we may plug them into that position instead of having to add another person. We'd plug them into that position.
Well, that was what I was concerned with. Are we just adding another person on the payroll?
Right. We're watching that budget down the road, and we're anticipating retirements, especially in community policing and DARE. So this is going to be a natural fit.
So it's possible that through the retirement process that we won't be actually adding any other expense to the general fund?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Approve and enter in amendment number 1 to purchase of a service contract with Lorain County Department of Job and Family Services and Lorain County Children's Services for FY02 for the Kinship Navigator Program. The amendment increased services to the program, but does not increase the contract value. Changes are effective retroactive to August 1st, 2001 through June 30th, 2002. Authorize the President to execute on behalf of the Board. All other provisions of the contract signed on December 6, 2001 remain in effect.
Also move.
I'll second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Amend Resolution Number 0296, adopted January 31st, 2002, authorizing payment to ODOT in the amount of $120,894 for the Sprague Road project. This amendment will reflect an additional warrant to be issued in the amount of $14,544 from the Engineer Bond Fund, which represents the county's local share based on the bids received March 6, 2002.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I need to know that $14,544, how is that going to be paid back? There's no one here from the engineer's office.
It's coming out of the Engineers Bond Fund.
Pardon me?
It's coming from the Engineers Bond Fund.
Doesn't someone have to pay that bond fund back?
Don't know. That's coming out of his funds.
Yeah, but that's that bond. That was borrowed money. And somebody's going to have to pay it back, I would assume.
That would be him.
The engineer out of his?
Out of his MGM?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, make note that it'll be coming out of his fund.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Authorize the appointment of 11-person oversight committee for Lorain County area-wide microenterprise loan program, retroactive to January 1st, 2002 through December 31st, 2002. Members are Elizabeth Blair, Mary Jo Vacy, David Moore, Patrick McGowan Doyle, Joey Kruk, Beverly Moffett, Norman Bliss, Gregory Turk, Carol Naraki, and James Cordes. Non-voting member would be Ron Twining.
Also move.
Second?
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Approve the Commissioners' Board meeting minutes and waive the reading of the same for March 28, 2002 and April 4th and 11th, 2002.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Instruct the clerk to advertise for bids for Lorain County Department of Job and Family Services, seeking proposals for agencies to provide services for the job training, placement, and retention program. The department is requesting proposals for a program targeting hard-to-place individuals receiving Ohio Works First cash assistance, which will provide an on-job training in both soft skills and job skills, job placement, case management, and retention services. The notice will be published in the Morning Journal and Chronicle Telegram on April 29th and May 6, 2002, with the bid opening on May 13, 2002 at 2:30 in the Commissioners' Public Hearing Room.
So move.
I'll second, but I would like to ask Mr. Cordes to expand a little bit on just what this entails.
What number are we on, Commissioner, please?
23.
Well, this is similar to funds we had available to us about 2 years ago in 2000 that we, I think, believe ultimately ended up returning to the state to provide assistance to hard-to-place individuals to Department of Job and Family Services. Some of these programs can include computer training, computer building. Ms. Vacy spoke to me about a couple of those issues when she came back from Columbus. Once again, I think the target population is going to be those people that need furtherance of job skills to enhance their ability to gain and also to retain employment. And I think we're going to see some very aggressive proposals. If you remember back to 2000, there was a broad spectrum of how people wanted to achieve those goals. I don't know what the proposal will look like this year, but with all the current events going on, it's good to see that we're going to be eligible for Ohio Work First dollars, and we'll have to keep a keen eye on the proposals when they come in and work closely with Job and Family Services.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that, but I was not very happy with the procedure that occurred 2 years ago, and I want to make sure that what we ask for is what we get, and I think that it was kind of, maybe the correct word is not nebulous, but I think you need to be specific in what you're asking for. And I don't even know what the dollars available are, so I want us to be real specific in what we ask for so that we don't get the kind of responses that are not, and then take up everybody's time not doing it appropriately.
I will be meeting with the Director of Job and Family Services this afternoon, and I will share what I hope is the board's feeling, along with what Ms. Blair has indicated, with Ms. Golsky, and we will just keep a much more keener eye on these things. We have a new structure since 2000, so we have a lot more
Wonderful.
involvement.
I'm really excited about that new structure. I just want to see it function.
It'll function. I will report back to you as things progress with this issue.
Thank you.
Okay, since you brought that up about the issue in regards to Columbus, when I was out there, I talked with the director from Montgomery County, I believe, and they have a program in place where it's for kids, but I think maybe we can even bring it in for adults. And they're using TANF money, and what they're doing is buying all the components for computers and they're having, like, the students, right now I think it's from age 12 to 14 or something like that, but we can put our own age on it. But what they're doing is they're having the kids come in, they do an hour of homework, and they work on the computer for an hour. They totally put these computers together inside and out. And then after it's done, then the kids get to bring the computer home. And, you know, when I talked with her, I said, well, there's always the middle-class people that are just above that poverty level, and they really can't afford computers for kids either. And what she said was, we raised our poverty level. Instead of 150%, they brought it up to 200%. So that included some of the people that just couldn't afford a computer but couldn't get on the programs. So she's going to send me a videotape, and I would like to share that with Mary Lou and maybe Juan, whoever needs to see it. And I will bring it into the board for you to see it. And she also told me that if need be, she would be willing to come in here and help us to start the program in Lorain County. I look at it like this. It's a world of technology today, and to teach the kids and to get into computers and to build it from the inside out is fantastic. And I think this would be a good program for our kids here, and also for adults. I think it would be good for adults. Personally, myself, when it comes to computers, I can only do so much with a computer, and then after that it's like, duh, I am lost. So, and I know there are a lot of other people, maybe my age, that, you know, are in the same position. So, you know, I think it would be beneficial for the county to do this for others, and the computer world is the way to go anymore. There's where our jobs are. So I'm just pitching that.
We're already at 200% of poverty level, so maybe we can
raise it a little bit.
Right, we can raise it a little bit to help with a program like that. So that would be great. I'll also share that with Ms. Kolsky.
Tell her as soon as I get the tape, I'll call her.
Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
If I just might piggyback on what Commissioner Vacy said, there is a wonderful, our Oberlin contingency's gone, but for those older than 39, Oberlin and the Bridge program at the Oberlin Public Library, they have a wonderful facility there to assist people. And as you know, through our IT program, Mr. Twining's department, and some things that I heard last week, we want to encourage the use of internet technology and computers because we've got the wonderful infrastructure, and now we need to go to the next step. So that's going to be our next focus, I think. Ron shaking his head yes, so it's certainly a timely subject. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
No further discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Mohr?
Aye.
Authorize Lorain County Domestic Relations Court to purchase CourtView 2000 software, hardware, and installation of the migration project for the juvenile court, juvenile detention, and juvenile probation for Maximus Justice Solutions, North Canton, Ohio, in the amount not to exceed $305,318.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes.
I believe, okay, go ahead.
Well, I heard you wanting to discuss, so I said yes.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, I said yes.
It's those vibes. I believe somebody was here last week and just wanted to talk about this, but I think I caught her sleeping back there, so I'm just picking on you. Resting, okay. Has our IT director has already signed off on that?
I believe I was tasked to conduct a few events, and I have. I met with our IT director. He subsequently met with staff members from the DR. He's given a letter of support and recommendation to move forward with this issue. I was also tasked to inform the board where the funding would come from for this issue, and currently I believe we have enough money in unappropriated cash to take it from there rather than looking any further.
Okay.
And that would be my recommendation, that you move forward and that we use unappropriated monies to support this initiative.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cortez.
Any further discussion?
No, but I want to thank you because I know you reviewed this and you did cut costs quite a bit. So thank you.
And she's persistent.
Yeah, she did a good job, both of them.
Persistence pays off.
If you last long enough.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Mohr?
Aye.
I'd say thank you to the commissioners for approving this. I know it's a huge issue for the county. but
Susan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hal's waving at you.
You thought Hal was doing calisthenics.
Susan Ward, Court Administrator in the Domestic Relations Court. And I said enough last week, I don't need to go over anything else. But I just want to thank the commissioners and for Mr. Cortez and Mr. Ennis and everybody else that was involved. This has been a long project, and it's nice to see it come to fruition with the collaboration that I think is needed at all times. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Authorize the purchase of carpeting for Lorain County Department of Job and Family Services. The carpeting needs to be replaced in certain areas of the building where it has been worn badly, some of it becoming unglued from the floor and cannot be reglued. Also, some of the carpeting has unraveled and the seams are coming apart. This will be purchased by State of Ohio Purchasing from DuPont, $3,733.25 and $104.94 for the total cost of $3,874.19.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, is this coming from the general fund?
No, Commissioner.
It's coming from their fund?
That's my understanding.
All right, because I was going to say maybe they could use recycled carpet and pay with the solid waste funds.
We probably could, but if we can get a few bucks out of the state, I'd rather keep our
It's coming
solid
from
waste.
state money.
Right. That
agree.
was my understanding, but I will re-verify that. But last time I discussed this, we would be using state funds for that.
Okay, if it isn't, then
Then we can revisit.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
aye.
Issue notice to proceed letter to Kokosing Construction Company, Fredericktown, Ohio, for the Columbia West River Road and Root Road resurfacing project effective May 6, 2002. This contract was awarded by Resolution 02-192 adopted May 14, 2002.
March 14th, so moved.
I'm sorry.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Getting tired, Teresa? Long
No, I just,
time?
May
Only
is on my mind, you
21.
know? Authorized to offer, reject, and select the uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage as part of course of 2002 renewal effective May 1st, 2002, and authorized warrant to be issued for premium in the amount of $720,675 to Corsa for 2002-2003 benefit year.
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
You gonna bid? I mean, are you gonna...
I'm just eyeballing my county administrator. No, don't. I'll just say aye.
Something going on we ought to know about here?
No, we'll discuss it
You
later.
got lunch on the side and you're not telling us?
There's-
Commissioners, since we had a little bit of discussion here, you are very aware of the uninsured motorist issue. There was 3 options there on that issue. The issue that we have, I want to see how this resolution is constructed.
You're mumbling, Jim.
I do that a lot.
Well, and I can't hear
We're-
too well, so it makes a bad combination.
We're asking to select $1 million of uninsured motorist coverage. I need to inform you that there's 3 levels of uninsured motorist coverage that are available to the county, the highest being $6 million. I think the lowest being, I want to say $45,000 or $100,000. Based upon the discussions with Corsa and the people that assist us with this, we felt that the $1 million was adequate for the county, but you do have options. So I mean, when the paperwork comes around, you should have seen that.
And 1 million is what we've had in the past, is that correct?
We haven't had the uninsured motorists in the past.
We haven't?
No, this is something new. And Commissioner Vacy, you know, Corsa has been working on this for some time. A lot of these legal cases now, it's not as simple as uninsured motorists. What happens here, it's underinsured or uninsured. Our employees now, if they're involved in an accident, they don't have an adequate insurance. The employer of that employee can be sued because they provide automobile coverage as part of their scheme of operations. I routed some lawsuits to you, and I told you we need to keep a keen eye on them. We have one in the queue right now that we're being sued. The employee doesn't drive in the normal course of their job. However, they were underinsured and they were involved in an accident, so they've come after the employer because we provide auto insurance. It's I'm just going to say clearly, it's pretty wacky in the state of Ohio right now with the way these insurance rulings are going. So we need to have some kind of umbrella coverage should we find ourselves caught up in some of this litigation. But I did need to point out that there was 3 levels available. Depending on your risk tolerance, that goes all the way up to $6 million. So we're recommending the $1 million level. I wanted to point it out so that at some future date, somebody doesn't say that we didn't give you the opportunity to acquire additional coverage.
And for this $1 million, we're paying a premium of $720,675?
No. We're paying a premium of, I believe it's about $60,000. The $700-something thousand is our
Total
complete insurance package.
This is what I
Oh,
thought
yes.
it was. Okay,
Yes.
so what's the $1 million uninsured portion cost?
I want to say it's about $60,000. Our total premium increase for the year was about 8% or 9%, and then when we put the uninsured motorists in, that bumped us up for about a 12% premium increase. And this also has to be paid in lump sum, and I discussed the matter with the treasurer yesterday to make sure that he was aware that that become a sizable issue be coming down so that his liquidity wasn't overly disrupted.
Do you have a question about the amount? You thought it should be more?
No, we already voted on it. I'm ready to move on.
Thank you for the clarification,
thank you.
Mr. Cordes. Thank you for the question, Commissioner.
Approve and enter into purchase a service contract with Lorain County Department of Job and Family Services in Nancy Port, Avon Lake, Ohio, as a social service worker for fiscal year 2002 for the Joining Forces program in the Overland Schools. This contract is effective April 29, 2002 through June 14, 2002 in the amount not to exceed $2,499 and authorize President to execute on behalf of the Board.
I had a question. What will she be doing? Let's see.
We need to pull up. I believe this is one of those pass-through issues that provide counseling within the schools. We provide funding.
Do you have a question on it?
Do you want?
I don't think it's said. Oh, here we go. Should be reimbursed at the rate of $14.10 per hour. Just her figures.
I'm not completely versed in the Joining Forces program. If you'd like, I can address that. I'm sure another additional week would not unduly disrupt the matter.
It just doesn't say what she's going to be. Oh, wait a minute.
I'm just wondering if it's just a finish or a continuation, because they're talking April 29th through June 14th.
It could be, or it could be just a partial year program, Commissioner.
Right.
It didn't really gather too much notice from me when it was on the agenda, but I can find out more if you'd like.
What's the wish of the board?
I'll move for approval.
Please let me, it looks like one of the employees that was doing this got another job, and they want this person to fill in until they get another person, or
Till the end of
this
the
is just
school
going to
year.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Motion? Second?
Discussion. Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Instruct the clerk to advertise to receive requests for qualifications for complete architectural, engineering, and related services for Lorain County Intermodal Hub. Notice will be published in the Chronicle Telegram and Morning Journal on May 3rd and 10th, 2002, and the RFQs will be open at 2 p.m. on May 24th, 2002 in the Commissioners' Public Hearing Room.
Commissioners, I need to change the May 24th date. I want to move that up by a week. If I don't believe there's any diminishing of requirements in the Ohio Revised Code by doing so. So with that, I'd like to move that date up to, I believe it's May 17th would be the week before.
That's fine. It would be at 2 p.m. in the back conference room, though.
It can be 2
Just
p.m.
for-
in the hallway. I
Okay.
just need the extra week.
No, you're not getting an extra week.
You're losing an extra week.
You're losing a week.
Well, I want to gain it on the process.
Okay.
Okay. I need to move with a little bit more urgency
Okay.
than what's detailed here. I'll wait to see what your motions are, and when you go into discussions, I have a few more issues with this for you.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
And
Help you out.
Ron, is this the train depot? Okay, do you want to explain where the money's coming from for this and what this is all about? We talked about it the other day, but I think for the public's information, we should explain it a little further.
Is it Ron or Jim?
Ron or Mr. Cortez?
Well, Ron talked with me about it the other day. He seemed to know quite a bit
It's
about
been a
it.
cooperative effort.
Okay.
We've all been working on it, but we also have,
We'll let Mr. Cortez, thanks.
well, it's fine. I mean, Ms. Mohr and Mr. Ferguson are here to be able to discuss where the funding would come from.
This is regarding the train station, correct?
Correct.
So we are in discussion mode. Who wants to talk?
I would yield to Transit if it's okay with Ms. Vacy. I mean, is it?
I don't care who answers. I just want the answers. Okay.
Okay.
My name's Tom Ferguson, Chief Finance Officer for Lorain County Transit, and we've been awarded, as one grant, anyway, $100,000 of state discretionary funding called 5309 funding, and that's on an 80% basis from the federal government. So that would pay, you can use that to pay 80%. The other 20% can come from our state formula grants that we've got. And if it requires more than that, there's probably more than that or additional funding for that already in our federal formula grant. So there's really about at least two sources.
So this is going to be paid for by federal and state grant money? $100,000?
Yes. Well, it could even be more than that if the study comes in more than that.
Yeah.
We could probably go higher than that.
Sure, I guess we don't really know what the bids are yet and what
No,
they're going to cost.
but-
Right, since this is a request for qualifications, we're not asking for cost data until the qualifications are in, then we'll negotiate the cost of providing the data at that point.
So this is a negotiated process.
But, okay, so we're just requesting for qualifications?
Correct.
Okay, so we're not, okay.
This way-
But we're approving the whole process today, aren't we?
You're approving the RFQ.
Okay.
And when a company is ultimately qualified and recommended, they'll come back to this board as a recommendation.
Okay.
And then you can award from there.
Okay.
Who are we qualifying? The architect, or who's qualifying?
It could be any company. It could be an architectural firm. It could be a firm that specializes in the rehabilitation of historic buildings.
It says qualifications for complete architectural engineering and related services.
Right. Any of those companies would have to do that, even if they're in, and even if they just do historic buildings, they're still going to have architects and engineers. Or it could be a straight-out architectural firm that just wants to involve themselves in that type of work.
Okay, because then what will happen is we're going to bid out, we're going to find 3 or 4 firms that will qualify, and then we'll issue bids to...
Well, at that point, you find the one that you believe is most pleasing, and then you discuss the dollars of what it would cost to do the work.
Okay.
We're on a pretty fast track on this. I think maybe at this time, well...
No, the beauty of this is we got an empty building downtown that we're finally doing something with.
Yes, we do. And I believe we're somewhat in the queue. And Deb, you need to show some excitement you've been beating me with. Come on up here.
She's been sitting here for 3 hours. I think she got it all sucked out.
But we're somewhat in the queue. Nothing is firm, but we're in the queue for $2 million, and that's why we're moving with a little bit of urgency here. And
Yes, I thought Tom was going to address that a little more, but we were contacted by Senator DeWine's office in reference to a $3 million earmark that we had applied for last year. So it's very important that we get the plan together, attach the cost, and we can really, get on with the development of the train station. And of course, the whole goal, ultimately, ultimately, that train station will be a gem for every person in this county. It will truly be an intermodal hub where you've got train, bus, car, pedestrian, bikeway, all coming together in one spot, hopefully room for retail. So it's going to be an exciting project, and the fact that we had someone call and say, is this money right? You know, it was kind of like, do you need more? That's how I took it. It was like, well, maybe. So we're really excited about this, but the first step is to get the plan developed so we know what total money we're talking about. But, you know, a couple years ago, we had submitted a document with you that outlined many different funding sources that we can go to apply for dollars on a project like this. So I just want to say thank you very much on behalf of the Lorain County Transit Board, and it's going to be great partnering with all of you. And we were asked to be here today by Jim Cortez, and I think one thing I really learned, I am in awe after sitting here for 3 hours at the information that all of you have to digest. I just give you a heads up to that. I'm impressed. So with that, I really have nothing more to add. I hope you're excited about it. We are.
Debbie,
I'm sorry.
Debbie, will this plan give us an estimate of what the cost will be for renovation?
Hopefully, it will be an accurate account of what the total cost to renovate will be, not an estimate. I mean, we need a perfect...
They don't always come in that way, though.
They'll be giving us some fairly accurate
Right.
operating budgets and parameters to work within.
Okay, I know that, but I mean, that's what I wanted to know. Is it going to bring some cost figures in?
Yes, that's the whole purpose of the plan.
Then, I heard you mention $3 million available. Is that going to be for renovation?
Yes.
Will there be any additional other than $3 million? Because I know with the plan that the city of Elyria had, it was going to be $5 million years back. So $3 million doesn't sound like it's going to be enough.
I thought their plan, is anyone...
Let me speak to that for a moment.
Go ahead.
In the RFQ, it also tells the people that are submitting their information that they have to assist us on gaining funding sources. We're really specifically looking for companies that have done these kind of renovations before and know where to access dollars. That's also part of the qualification package in there, to have them access dollars with us. I know that doesn't speak to your whole question, but there's probably additional dollar sources that Debbie and I are not aware of on a historic building. And that's one of the issues that we're going to be talking with the people that put proposals before us and their qualifications.
There was some young man involved when we went out there to view the train depot that had all these wonderful ideas of where this money was going to come from. Mm-hmm. What happened to him?
He's still around. That was a member of the OARP group. If you're curious, we can resubmit that document that we put together that listed the different sources. You know, NOAC is out there. As Jim indicated, there could be some historic dollars available. There are HUD dollars. I think we outlined about 17 different funding sources that we can go to.
So we're going to research all these then? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
This is pretty much the chicken or the egg, but what we need to do is lay the egg, and that's what we're doing today for free, all right?
Yeah.
So it's not costing us anything to get the RFQs. Then we'll have the money available. You'll have the money available, I should say. And then you'll come back with an organized plan, and we'll make that decision, have that discussion then.
Mm-hmm.
And this
is exciting.
This is just to get someone that's qualified, isn't it?
Qualified to create the plan.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But will this pay for the plan?
Yes. The $100,000 that Tom referred to, that will go toward the development of the plan.
Okay.
Thanks.
Commissioner, if I may, at this point, now Commissioner Vasey's question is appropriate, and I feel more comfortable answering it. What I talked to Commissioner Vasey about, and I'm happy to do that today, recently we have presented to you, it was about 30 days ago, the multimodal transportation plan. A key element, one of the challenges in the 6th chapter on transit, dealt with the need for a transit-oriented designs and transit-oriented facilities. And so what I am trying to do is render our support from the citizens and from our department to what Debbie and the commissioners are doing here. It's certainly something we heard loud and clear from a lot of residents as a part of this process. So we would render our support as well.
Thank you.
Also, Commissioners, I want to thank Mr. Twining. As I was getting further and further behind with the Justice Center issues, Ron came out and really spun this RFQ to get it on the street. So I want to thank him and let you know that he's put a tremendous amount of work into this.
Sounds to me like we have wonderful staff people working for us.
You have wonderful people work for you, period.
All right.
I just want to be very clear that there won't be any additional general fund money needed for any of this project. What's this? Just give me a yes or a no. Somebody.
I don't think that we can make a guarantee that until we have a plan and we see where all the funding sources are. I don't think we're planning on using any general fund money right now, but I can't tell you that there wouldn't be a request if there's a shortfall and possibly doing the train station. That would have to come in the future, and you'd have to make a decision at that time.
Well, I'm saying with this project right now,
Oh,
is
this
this going to
project,
be
no.
sufficient?
The $100,000, we will make the $100,000
I'll make the other
sufficient to do the plan.
decisions when they come up,
Yes,
but I
I'm
want
sorry,
to know about
misunderstood your
this one.
question. No, there will be no additional cost right now to do the plan.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Authorize county administrator to execute the warranty deed for the industrial development first mortgage revenue bond Shoreway Shopping Center project, Sheffield Lake, Ohio. This purchase was authorized by resolution number 0274 adopted January 24, 2002 in the amount of $100.
So moved.
Second? I guess this is a formality, is it not?
That's correct, Commissioner.
Thank
Just a final step.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Ms. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Cortez, County Administrator?
Thank you. Commissioners, I want to talk to our financing on the Justice Center very briefly. Approximately 2 weeks ago, when we were here last, we talked about that we were going to borrow $20 million rather than the $25 million that we had originally anticipated in the Justice Center. Due to some restrictions in the code, we ultimately ended up going back to the $25 million number for the Justice Center. However, we structured the bond issue so that $4 million of the bond will be paid off in December from bond retirement monies, and then an additional $1 million will be paid off on that $25 million December of 2003, which will bring our issue down within the year to $20 million. It had to do with some of the nuances of how monies could be moved under the code. I've talked to each one of you individually, but I wanted to inform you publicly because we did state here we were borrowing $20 million, and I don't want the public to ever think that they were misled and why we did that. We still only needed the $20 million, but because of the structure of the funds, we had to do it this way to access our bond retirement dollars. I'm also pleased to tell you that Mr. Okiasi and myself just got the rates back on our issue. Our all-in cost for the borrowing is 4.89%. We have been informed that this is the lowest rate they've seen in months. I believe a lot of things have to do with that, but I also think very significantly with our ratings from Moody's and Fitch's. You passed these back to me, but maybe they're better read by some of the commissioners. I've highlighted some things on the Fitch's report. We received a AA rating from Fitch's, which is 2 notches above what we were with Moody, and only 2 notches from the very, very best rating that anybody can get, which very few achieve. We are now rated among financially rated among the very best counties with Fitch's, and I've highlighted a couple comments if you'd like to read a few of those.
Okay, this was a press release from yesterday, correct? That's what I'm saying, at 2:33 is when they rated this.
Yes.
This is the beauty of using two agencies against each other, I hate to say that, but between Moody's and Fitch's. Fitch's gave us a AA rating, and the reason why, it reflects Lorain County's growing tax base with the continued economic diversification from manufacturing towards the service industries. The county's financial operations are well managed, benefiting from strong fund balance reserves. Debt levels are low because of strong internal funding practices and remain manageable due to the limited need for additional debt. The financial performance is strong as reflected by operating surpluses over the last several years. I'm skipping around a bit. The county's sizable reserves and consistent operating surpluses are due to the growing economy, consistent voter approval for supplemental property tax levies, and management's sound expenditure controls. Bottom line, that just means we're watching the tax dollars, okay? This is a very nice compliment to Lorain County from Fitch's, and the difference, really what they did is Moody's rated us at an A1, we're getting an AA from Fitch's, which gives us the 4.89% rate that we'll be able to issue our bonds. So I'd like to congratulate our staff for all their efforts. I think the trip to New York was worth it. We got to meet one-on-one with Moody's and Fitch's, and a lot of this, what they stated in this report is what we talked about one-on-one. And it was, between the three of us, it was very informative. We all played off each other very well, because what one person might not have known, the other one could have picked up on, and it was really a team effort. I think the Fitches saw that, and they really were excited to have us there. So it was a very good meeting. I thank Mr. Rocasi and Mr. Cortez for keeping me company in New York. That's nice. But
It's
it was
always
a long weekend.
It's always nice to have somebody from outside look at you and talk to the stewardship of this board and what's going on in Lorain County. I'm very pleased with that.
If this is, if anybody would like to get a copy of this, should I give this a...
Certainly, it's a public record. It's on the
Well,
wire.
they're over there with their eyebrows up and down going, I want a copy. I know talking about money like that isn't as exciting, but this is big news for Lorain County. It really is.
It is, and we discussed a lot of the strengths of Lorain County, and we also spoke to a lot of the weaknesses to Lorain County with the folks there. The trips are definitely worth it. You cannot get this personal flavor over the telephone or in a conference call. You actually have to be there, and it was a very rewarding experience for us all.
And this is going to stand us in good stead when you go back for the rating on the Lorain County Port Authority.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. The same folks that are rating Lorain County from Fitch's will be the folks we're working on for the Port Authority with us, and I spoke to them briefly yesterday concerning that issue, and they're waiting for us to come with the Port Authority and want to sit down with us and talk about several more issues as it relates to economic development in the Port Authority in Lorain County. So I'm very encouraged by that sign. My last issue, since it's been such a long meeting, and I've talked to each board member individually on this, is we're all aware of some of the financial difficulties being experienced by the city of Lorain, and their need to conserve dollars over there because of their present situation. We also, I think everybody's aware of the situation with them not being able to open the pools in the city of Lorain. I spoke about a month and a half ago on the need to put dollars into prevention services rather than dollars into the criminal justice center once juveniles have entered that system. I think the lack of having adequate facilities during the daytime hours will just lead some of those younger folks in Lorain to possibly enter that system. So with that, I'm going to request that the board offer the city of Lorain $10,000 towards financing opening their pools and start them off on their probably very difficult and winding road to get to their $70,000 to open the pools for the people in Lorain, in the city of Lorain. I think it's necessary. It's a prevention tool. It provides a good place for the youth to be during the day. And I would encourage the board to support that initiative. Should the city of Lorain gain the $70,000 as needed, I think that we should be first out of the chute and provide them the initial $10,000 to start them off.
Can we go back 1 minute to the Justice Center? I did have a question. Is that 4.89, John, is that going to be a fixed rate, or is that...
That is a fixed rate, Commissioner.
For the 20-year period?
For the 20-year period.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was the only question I had, thanks. But I would move that we would contribute $10,000 to the City of Lorain for the opening of their pools, contingent that they receive the balance of the money to open all the pools, so that we just don't open a pool in one area.
I'll second. Discussion.
Okay. So we're basically participating in the fundraising efforts of the mayor?
Yes.
Because city council won't fund the pools.
They can't fund them, I guess.
No, the city council won't fund it, so
They won't, or they
well,
can't?
I don't know, that's an issue that looks like the mayor and city council's been having, so I just, I've been struggling with this, so I just don't know. I'm afraid about the other communities that are gonna be coming out, because,
I was concerned about that too, because the
And
minute
you're
you
always
give
concerned about
Lorain
that, you know?
one, then Elyria comes out and wants some, and then you've got somebody else wanting it.
yeah, so, this is, thanks. I didn't know it's coming up today. I thought you were wait till next week.
Oh, we still didn't vote on it.
Okay.
Once again, Commissioner, if you look at it from a perspective of the money that we put into the Criminal Justice Center system...
You had to use that logic. It's good logic. It's very good logic.
These are prevention dollars.
I agree with that.
Give these kids someplace to go during the day.
That's probably the smartest thing you could have said, so I appreciate that.
I knew I had to get over on you somehow.
You got it. Okay, you got me. That's the end of my discussion.
Further discussion. Ms. Vacy?
I would, yes,
With the contingency.
with the
It's all in there.
contingency.
It's in the motion, so.
Yeah.
Ms. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Mohr?
Aye.
I'm sure the citizens of the city of Lorain thank you, and hopefully this will jumpstart their initiative to get the rest of the funding. Thank you for them, and I appreciate the support. Thanks, Commissioner. That's all the comments I have to say.
Kids are worth it.
You got it. Thank you.
Assistant County Prosecutor, Mr. Ennis?
I'm not sure if the commissioners are going to have any more executive sessions today. If they do, I have one small litigation. It'll take about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And
Don't
I
we
can
have
include that.
don't we have another?
I understand that Mr. Fote, and it needs a personnel executive session. I thought he spoke with you, Ms. Vacy, on that need. I didn't know who was going to bring it up. I apologize, but I should have
How
brought
many
it up.
minutes do you need, Jeff? He says he needs 3.
Well, if we do it at the end, it won't matter.
Okay, well, okay.
Well, you want lunch or something?
I've been
It's
eating
only
these.
10 after
You're right, I've been
1.
eating these things.
I'm
That's
going to tell
fine.
your wife.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you just admitted it on TV anyway. We just
Yeah, like we watch this.
And,
I live it, I don't want to watch it. Okay, then we'll have an executive session then. Okay.
and I just wanted to add, I was talking to Mr. Okasi, I know some of this bond rating stuff sometimes is boring and doesn't come across, but if for nobody else's benefit than Mr. Kish, the accomplishment in this board of getting that rating is going to save this county millions and millions and millions of dollars over the next few years. And people don't understand bond rating at all. I didn't as an attorney before I came here, but it's a tremendous accomplishment, and the Board of Commissioners and their staff, I mean, I'm just amazed at how much money we're going to be saving for the county, and you all deserve congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Commissioners report?
Commissioner Vacy?
Oh, I got a lot because I was in Columbus all week last week, but all right. Don't look at me like that. I'll cut it down. I'll just give you a
Trying to diet.
little
This is
bit
killing
here.
me.
Anyway, I wanted to bring this back. It's the alphabetical index of the new laws that are going to be affecting the counties. So if anybody wants copies of
Take
it.
one. How many you got?
Yeah, a lot.
Lot?
There's about 10 here.
Okay,
Do you want
pass them
one?
around. Pass them
Yeah,
around.
Jerry wants one.
Oh, where's all that last stuff?
These are in General Assembly now.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
And Jim, I came back with this, and I know that we used to do this, but I'm not sure if we still do it or not. But we discussed managed care for self-insured companies, and there was a company out there that reviews like the medical bills and the hospital bills to make sure that we're not getting overcharged. Are we still doing that?
We periodically audit. We haven't audited probably in 2 or 3 years. If you have something you'd like us to look at, we could be in that window. It's always good to keep people knowing that you may go back and take a look at your claims. So if you want to send something through, I'll take a real serious look at it for you. And
Okay.
and do they do auditing, or do they just do managed care?
Managed care.
Yeah. Okay. But I can take a look at it. We can sit down and talk about it.
All right. And then another thing, too, was the use of inmate pharmacy cards for prescriptions, for discounts on inmate prescriptions.
We're currently contracted with Higgins Pharmacy over in Amherst. The problem we've had with the discounts is the delivery of the pharmaceuticals and the bubble wrapping of a certain amount of pills. I don't know that we're getting really significant discounts over there. When I worked on this issue with the jail folks about six or 7 months ago, they have a need maybe to have 4 pills. And it's very hard to get a discount on 4 pills. You may get a discount on 30-day supply off our average wholesale price. But I certainly would love to look into anything. It was the delivery, though, and the packaging. Plus, also, they have to take back unused meds, which is somewhat time-consuming for them. That's how we save dollars out the jail also by instead of throwing away or destroying them, we require the pharmacy to take them back if they're not used. That saves us some cost there. Once again, I'd love to look at any new innovations in that particular area and work with the jail folks.
Okay, and then, I don't know, maybe you want to just talk to the sheriff about it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Judge Williams, there was like a panel of, I think there was 4 judges. Judge Williams was one of them, and he has like, I guess, a family court, probate. I don't want to mention it too loud around here.
Thanks.
But anyway, he was talking about the drug court that he put together out there, and during this discussion, we kind of talked about our psychiatric center that we're going to have here. He was really enthused about it. So I think what we're doing over here is we're pioneering the way, and there will be a time when we're going to see the psychiatric center within a lot of courts, because there was a really strong feeling between the judges that mental illness and drugs and alcohol abuse and even domestic violence are sometimes all related. And there were some really serious thoughts and energy, I think, that's going to be put in this from other court systems throughout the state. But I wanted to share that with you, and the TANF money I talked about. The Visitors Bureau. There was concern that we're not, the counties, not just Lorain County, but the counties are not getting all the fees, and then you brought this up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not just a concern here in Lorain County, but it's throughout the counties. But that the visitors bureaus are not being reported or collecting all the fees that they should be.
As I reported to Commissioner Vassie, much to my surprise, our Visitors Bureau doesn't appear to be getting any dollars from the cities that have a bed tax. And by Ohio Revised Code, those cities are mandated to give that Visitors Bureau 50% of the revenue raised from the local bed tax. Now, we're a pass-through. We charge an administrative fee that's permissible under the code, and we pass through the remainder of those dollars to the Visitors Bureau per our code requirements. I was a little surprised to find out that it's not happening in the municipalities. I haven't really pursued the issue yet, because the Visitors Bureau was set up as a nonprofit 501c3, and I'm not sure what our direct relationship was with them, but hopefully we'll be able to assist them, because I do consider them, although they're a separate entity, they are part of helping with economic development, growth, and tourism in this county, and we really should take a serious look at why they're not getting the dollars that are due them.
I think that was one of the issues, but I think another one is that maybe the hotels and motels are not reporting all the collections.
Well, I think Jerry did such a good job working on that jet. This could be a way to bring people together and communicate. I don't know what our position is. Again, I personally would rather see the prosecutors get involved and
Or
just,
maybe just talk with Pat Kano and find out how she feels about it, if she feels that all the collections are being reported.
As far as collection, we have a pretty healthy income.
no one's releasing it, right?
I want to say about $500,000 rounded.
That's about right.
About $500,000 from the hotel, and it's actually called a transient guest tax, so it's not just on motel. So which tells me that we're getting a sizable amount of reporting. It's just that some of the entities that have their own tax are not contributing the portion they are. Just for this real quick sake of clarification, we have a 3% tax. Prior to our 3% tax going into effect, any political subdivision that had their own tax, which is normally 3%, got to keep that. So in some areas you only have 3, in other areas you have 6. The 3% that the local political subdivision has is supposed to be 50-50 with the Visitors Bureau or a Convention, thank you, Commissioner. Convention Bureau. I think that those, we need to take a look at that issue. If it's the board's desire, I can certainly write a letter to the prosecutor's office asking for their assistance.
Since the commissioners created the Visitors Bureau way back when, and I happen to be the commissioner's representative on the Visitors Bureau board, I would certainly like to have this issue reviewed to see that proper dollars are being put in the proper place.
I appreciate that because, like I said, it may not just be here in Lorain County. It must be all over throughout the state of Ohio. Okay, so
We don't
want
want
to
you to
do?
be without things to look at, Jerry.
Jerry's going to look into it.
He's not committing one way. He's a good lawyer because he doesn't commit either way.
He just smiles.
He just smiles. He's still excited
Okay,
about
not
the
to
jet.
prolong this, but the next thing is...
Oh, really?
We discussed the state budget and the effects that it's going to have on the county and so many different agencies within the county and throughout the state. But I won't get into it, so anyway, I'll close with that. That was it.
We got next week. You can bring it up again.
Okay.
Commissioner Blair?
I have no report this morning, thank you.
Oh, wow. Let's see, when I was doing the budget, the end of last year, I'm meeting with the other elected officials and some of the departments, I was looking at indigent fees to lawyers. And what kind of got me to dig a little bit more was that they were requesting to go from the hourly rate to $50 to $60. And so that kind of opened my eyes a little bit more to say, wow, let's dig a little bit more deeper. And with the help of, John started showing me how much what we spend as a county on attorney fees. And the only reason I'm talking about it today is because I got some phone calls from some reporters because somehow it's starting to leak out. But Susan Ward at the Domestic Relations, the prosecutor's office, I met with Prosecutor Greg White, and they've thrown these ideas about a public defender's office. I asked Jim Cortez to look into it. Greg White gave me a phone number at the state. I guess they did this about 15 years ago, found out it wasn't economically feasible at the time.
It wasn't 15 years ago.
Was it earlier? Well, let me go on. The thing is, the person that's supposed to come up to Lorain County could not do it because she had a child, but she's coming up, I believe, in May, and it's not costing the county a dime to do an analysis of Lorain County's fees and what we are actually paying and how much it would cost to have a public defender's office, and it won't cost us a dime so that we can make a decision on whether or not to proceed. I just didn't like the idea of saying, here, we need $10 more an hour for lawyers, and I thought, well, I'd rather take a look at another avenue. And I'm kind of segueing for Jim to see where we're at on that.
Absolutely.
She's
Thank you.
supposed to be here in April, I believe.
April 29th.
Oh, she is?
She'll be spending a few days. What they do is they look at all the court processes and procedures also to see that maybe it's not cost effective to have a public defender's office, but maybe there's some processes and procedures that need to be realigned to capture the most availability of reimbursement dollars.
Right, because we're missing out on a lot of the reimbursement dollars.
Apparently we are, from what she said. I'm a little circumspect to say that right now without a full analysis. She did bring up some spreadsheets and cost data for the last few years from the county, and she believes that there's some reimbursement issues that we're unaware of, that we're not accessing our full level of recovery from the state. Recognizing that the state's supposed to return 50% to us, and I think we're down to 41 or 42%. This is another issue that CCO has been very hot on the state about, because in effect it ends up being an unfunded mandate onto the counties, because we have no choice in the matter. But as Commissioner Mohr said, we've spoken on this. I believe it'll take a few weeks after she's here to get some kind of report. I believe it's going to be a very hotly debated issue. I believe the courts and elected officials are fractured over this issue, but it'll come down to dollars and cents for what's best for the county.
And the fact that we're not paying anybody any money to do this analysis.
Free consulting.
I like free consulting, so nothing can go wrong with that. So that's the end of my report.
Old business?
I have none.
None.
Commissioner Macy?
Just to go back on that computer thing, the kids, when they were talking about the kids doing the computers, those were C and D and F students that were working on those computers. So those are kids that really needed to know a trade. And I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you.
Commissioner, before you close, can I add one closing comment? I know I'm trying your patience, but I really need to point out the amount of work that went into all this stuff recently with the budget department, specifically, John's staff, Sherry Marino, John, Shelley. John, if you want to laud your staff, it's a time, a tremendous amount of work goes into the paperwork that has to go out there to do this bond, and I think we need to recognize those people specifically.
I think we should give them a certificate in each one of the employees from the board. Because
whatever the board sees fit.
They certainly deserve it, and that's something that,
Thank you very
not that you'll ever leave us, but it would certainly look good to an attachment of a resume.
Thank you, and on behalf of my staff also. It's a lot of work, you're right. And I appreciate your comments, all of you.
Justice Center
Something
report.
that you can hang in your, pardon me?
The Justice Center certificate of financial
Something.
responsibility. I
We'll
like
take
that.
it.
Okay, you'll take it, yeah.
But once again, you might want to plug our groundbreaking. We're May 3rd.
Well, we did that about 2 hours ago.
Come on, we're on to new business.
Oh, is this a new segment of no.
This meeting could be split into 2 segments.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
If
this
we
is like-
steer long enough, maybe they'll do
Right.
3.
This is called Lorain County Commissioners, the mini-series. So, Hal's going for his award here.
He ran out of tape.
We are on new business.
And I have none.
Commissioner Blair?
Well, we want to announce again the May 3rd groundbreaking at 11:30 in downtown Elyria. The public is clearly invited. Please join us for what might be a once-in-a-100-year event. I don't anticipate we're going to build anything like this again for 100 years. Thank you.
Ms. Vacy?
Oh.
Oh, I have nothing.
No, nothing, no.
That's it.
Board correspondence?
I move the reading be waived.
Second.
There's no discussion. Ms.
There
Blair?
sure isn't.
Ms.
Aye.
Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Mohr?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I move we go into executive session to discuss the personnel issue and the litigation that Jerry Ennis identified.
Well, you don't want to deal with public comment?
There's a motion on the floor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What was the motion, to go into
Executive session for a
Can you
personnel
change,
issue.
can you amend that
and the
motion to
litigation.
go in after we hear public comment? Because if we're in there for a while, maybe they want to leave.
That's my motion.
No,
If
that's
you
her
don't want to
motion.
second it, that's fine.
That's her motion, she's sticking.
That's right, that's my story, I'm sticking to it.
You need that.
No. It's okay.
Okay.
That was that fourth over.
There is no
I'm not going to second. Are you going to second it?
No.
Okay, then, I'm sorry. Can we go to public comment? I mean,
Yes, yeah,
okay, go
public
ahead.
comment?
Does anybody have anything for public comment, anyone? Bob?
Yes.
You only have, let me tell you something, there was a lot happened today, you only have 3 minutes, okay? Because I know you want to talk about a lot, so. And
No,
what-
actually,
oh,
it's going to be short because I'm 2 hours overdue on the trip I planned.
Okay.
Robert Kish, 7 Seas. Anyhow, que pasa, amigos? The past is prologue. However, our HIP, however subtle, is not dead. I admire the words of Judge Lynn Slaby, quote, "Nobody should be fixing anybody's tickets. Parking is now available for Judge Slaby. If I, a nobody, were to attend a commissioner's public meeting and were to be ticketed, would they be as accommodating if the meeting exceeded 2 hours?" Which it did today, but although I had my own chauffeur, so no problem. I think This parking ticket that I'm wearing is proof that mine wasn't fixed. Do your civic duty as I do, and do it for more than 2 hours and you know where you park. After all, we peons want to know. Demron, we spoke about in the past, Pogo, we met the NB and the ARR. For everybody's trivia fans, everybody remembers Cheers. How many remember Archie's Tavern, where the elite meet to eat, but Archie was never there? It's an old radio program. Reference to criminal logic, I really appreciate it. I wasn't going to speak on this, but I thought about this with the parking. The people who really do not have to worry about parking are the people who might steal my car within that 2-hour parking limit, because they get taken, chauffeured to the county jail where they get meals, quarters, lodging, who knows what else. Medical care. I've heard of people actually going back to jail to get medical treatment. And when they come to this new Justice Center, they will be chauffeured. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob, for keeping that under 3 minutes. Anybody else have anything to say publicly? If not, we thank all you diehards that stayed this long, and we'll be moving in. I move to go into executive session.
Second. Mr. Mohr?
Aye.
Ms. Blair? I'm sorry, Ms. Vacy.
Aye.
Madam Clerk,
Ms. Blair?
let it be known for personnel issues.
Did you get that ticket today?